G'day folks, Jason here on the udder farm. I'm actually on the trial property this afternoon, guys. What we're doing today is we're going in the paddock here. So we're probably 3 or 4 weeks off spring now. So we just got the girls back in from the udder farm, bring them back in the trial property to go through their second winter graze. So that first time I had them through, we remember we spoke about we only ate 20% of that pasture height. I didn't want to take it down to the 50% because I wanted to have a second pass, or if not a third pass, before summer. So we probably tip graze it to 80% remaining. So what I'm doing now, I'm bringing them in. It's like I said, it's only a few weeks off spring now. So once we get the hotter weather comes and the rain, the pasture's going to really take off. So what I'm going to do now is chew it down from that 80% down to around about that 50%, 60% mark. That way when the rain does come, it'll flourish and take off. So we'll jump in the paddock and we'll have a look what they've done, and we'll have a discussion about the pasture at the moment. So what I'll do, guys, is I'll show you what it looks like before the girls cell graze it for the second time. So this has had one pass. I done the video, I think it was 70 days ago, 75 days ago. So they went through here and knocked it off 20%, 80%. So this has had a 70 days to recover. So as you can see, it's probably about 2 foot high now. There is a lot of green pickings here, but if you can have a close look, there's also a lot of dead pasture as well. So what happened here is this all come to seed. What I did is I brought the girls through, they ate what they wanted to eat, and what was remaining was probably that 40% still standing once they ate 40% and laid that 20-30% over. What was still standing come to seed, and that died off and drained energy, but that's not an issue. That was planned because now what it enables me to do is this green grass, now when they come through and they have their second pass, they'll be taking a mouthful of green pasture and that dry pasture. If it's too green, like come spring and summer when you get a lot of rain, that green flushage comes through. It's really green and it's high in protein, and that's when your cattle have loose bowels or loose movements. Their manure is generally watery and it has that really green texture and colour about it because it's high in protein. So this won't be high in protein because when they take a bite, they have a mixture of green and dry. In summertime and springtime when it's too green, you find that you may have to roll out fodder for that very reason, because the bowels and that are too loose, too much high in protein in the rumen, and it comes out watery. So this will be great. This will be a mixture of both when they come through now. So as you can see, it's pretty thick. I'll go in and show you what they've grazed over the last 3 days, and then we'll move them into the new area. So let's have a look at this area here, guys. All the way along here, they've come through and you can see they've nailed off the top of that pasture there, the dead and the green. So all that you can see is all been chewed off, nice and flat across the surface. Had a mouthful, moved on, had a mouthful, moved on. Anywhere I go, you can see it's all been chewed off, and you can probably see, that's my hand down there. There's probably a good foot, if not 1.5 feet, a little bit less in places, maybe 3/4 foot. But there's still a lot of forage on the ground. You don't want to take it right down, guys, because remember, 3 or 4 weeks away, it's going to be summer. So you need that residue standing to catch the sun. So when it rains, it grows back. It's like a solar collector. All those leaves are going to grow that plant back. Also, it doesn't allow the sun to penetrate right through and dry your ground out. You need to keep it 2/3 height. It'll grow back faster because it's a solar collector in the leaves to capture that sunlight and that carbon dioxide, and also to hold the moisture in the ground for you. For when you get those dry spells in summer, you're going to hold it there longer. It's a water reserve in your back pocket. If you overgraze, you're going to have nothing. It's going to dry out the ground, your grass won't grow, and there's going to be absolutely no microbes because the soil life will soon either go very deep in the soil or to die because of the external elements. The heat will heat up that ground that much they won't survive. So the girls have done 2 jobs for me. They've eaten that pasture down to that 40% height, which I require, getting ready for that spring flush. Also, they've waken up the microbiology. You remember, in the colder weather, the plant doesn't grow. It stays dormant. It's still catching the carbon dioxide in that sunlight and punching a bit of liquid carbon into the ground. But that bite, that tugging motion on the grass from the cow's mouth now excites the plant. It comes alive. So it's collecting that carbon dioxide and the sunlight, and it pumping liquid carbon into the ground and root exudates. Remember, when a cow pulls the plant, it sends root exudate. The plant stresses because it thinks it's going to get pulled out the ground when it's tugged. So it sends root exudates down to the ground. The microbes sense the root exudates, and then they quickly gather up the nutrients to recover that plant, to grow it stronger, to send the roots deeper in the ground so it can't get pulled out. And remember, the deeper the roots of the plant, the more minerals and vitamins you can get from the ground. Because now, you've instead of being continually grazed or slashed, and it's not exciting that plant from that bite and get root exudates, it stresses. So the roots only stay at one level. It's only when it's eaten by a cow, or tugged, or livestock for that matter, that it sends root exudates down, and it goes into the ground deeper and deeper. So the more regenerative farming you do, laying that carbon over, the softer the soil you can build back. When the organic matter breaks down, the soil won't be so compact. The more soil you make, the deeper the roots can go. The more microbes and worms, from the fertility of the manure, the more aeration the worms can do, the microbes can work on your soil for you, condition your soil, the more the roots can grow. Continuous grazing, it's just compaction, sunlight, dryness. You can't condition your soil so the roots can grow deeper. So what we'll do now is bring the girls through, and they can wake up some more microbes for me from their hibernation over winter. So we'll let them in, guys, to this new area. Come on, girls. Come on, girls. Too, like Pippi used to. So righto, guys, we'll let these cows do their thing and chew this grass down and wake up the microbes, and I've got some cells to prepare for tomorrow. So have a great morning, a terrific afternoon, and an awesome evening, guys. Wherever you watch us from, and we'll catch you later.